Hey everybody, I'm Creed. Welcome back to Slime Rancher. So we did a little time jump here of a few game days, basically of just setting up the farm the way I want it. And I was kind of torn on how I'm gonna do this series. I don't want to cut out all the, I guess some might look at it as drudgery, but the thing is, the grinding, farming part of the game is fun. I like it a lot, and it is half the game, so I'm not going to cut it out and just do a greatest hits. But I will make sure there's some kind of something going on in each episode. Some adventure, some discovery. So we're going to start off just doing a little bit of maintenance here. Some pogo fruit. Now, one thing that did happen in the time that I skipped, the first cage I set up with tabby phosphorus, I already mentioned that you notice how the screen is darker around them. That's the sunlight blocker. I didn't actually have that on there, so when I came back, they were all dissolved. So I had to fill that back up again. So we still have the pit of pinks there. And then these are tabby phosphorus, and the other ones are rock phosphorus. So I have tabby, rock, and pink florets on the go. So the farm is coming along nicely. And it's still early days, but pretty soon, what we're gonna do in this episode, we'll pop the first Gordo and get a slime key, and at the end of the episode, we're gonna open up the moss blanket. That's the second zone I would go to first. Some people open the indigo quarry first, but I think it's more beneficial to a starting rancher to get the stuff that's in the moss blanket. Yeah, plus, I think the moss blanket is probably my favorite level on this whole game. It's just great. Oh, and we got carrots going here. This place is just hopping now. So I will skip a little here and there, but I'm not going to completely cut out taking care of my farm. This is going to be a mellow show because this is a mellow game. There we go. Get those guys some tunes. Everybody needs tunes. And if you get them tunes, it doesn't completely calm them down. Like it says, it reduces. It reduces their agitation. But it doesn't, nothing in this game will completely keep them calm. I see some streamers come back and they're like, why are you guys freaking out? You have the music, and later on you can get slime toys that also calms them down, and they're like, well, you have slime toys and music. Yeah, it still won't 100. There's nothing in this game that's 100%. That's like a lot of people will notice there's like a slime that got away or missing or something, and they're like, how did he get out? Well, he just got out. It's only energy fields keeping them in. They're not 100% at all. Seems that there's a couple of streamers out there that I think in life probably don't adapt too well to something that's unusual one day. I don't know. I just kind of go, huh, interesting. Help me out here and I'll make sure you get what's owed. Thora West. But she wants stuff that, yeah, I'm not gonna bother doing that. I've never seen anything where the stuff you get in a trade is awesome or stuff you need. It's just sort of just general stuff. You trade general stuff for general stuff, and so really, although I do like to, when I get Bob, I like to give him some chickens. And to get to Ogden's Wild, you have to find Ogden on that thing. That's pretty much the only use for it. Oh, and the other thing, in the time I skipped, I got my water tank added on. So look out, tires, here I come. Other than that, we're just going to do some general slime ranchering for a little bit here. After a while, you kind of get a general, like, sort of like a little route you do. And I like that. It's like... If you are bored or agitated by a little bit of grinding in a game, this might not be the game for you. And I say grinding, and actually game grinding has become sort of a horrible thing, and people say, oh, that game is too grindy, and there's a lot of stuff related to new games that make themselves way too grindy, so you'll have to pay them money to play the game better. This game is just perfectly balanced. It's grinding to get somewhere, and the grind is pretty much equal to what you get. So that's fantastic. That's the game. Oh, and in my first video, I never mentioned this zone is called the Dry Reef. I don't know why I never mentioned that, but yeah, so we start in the Dry Reef. And this is actually just the sort of the spine of it that we keep going through. There are pockets off to the different sides. There's little hard to get to spots that are still Dry Reef, and we'll get to those. But a lot of them don't lead to somewhere or don't have a lot of resources, so there's really no need to go there when you're just trying to build up. And this spot that always has the tires, goodbye tires, is pretty much the far end of the Dry Reef. Because if you get in, see the slime seas there? There's a bridge, and that bridge heads off to the moss blanket. Take this, you're so dirty that water dissolves you. Now that is dirty. Hello, goodbye. So we're just trying to build up a good little bit of resources and plorts and chicken and carrots, and haul it all back to our farm. Once you get the farm really set up, then where your time goes isn't in gathering the stuff, it's just in clearing out, because you have auto feeders and auto plort collectors. So then you just have to go by and see that it's full and pull it all out and sell it again. But in these early stages, the scrounge is it's actually pretty fun. I like it. So when I was talking about the grind, especially last episode, it's not a complaint. It's just, there's kind of grindy. You got to get some resources going. I don't think there's one part of this game I don't like. Slime Rancher rules. Pogo Slime. But I had no space. So I will take your plorts instead. Plorts, plorts, plorts. Give me all your plorts. Carrots, carrots, carrots. I'll turn them into plorts. And you'll notice when I go on a mission, if I get a chance, I'll grab some chickens. There was a roastro, and there's a few different kinds of chickens. I like to grab them because the way I like to do this, there's only so many spots you get to make cells or different things. You can make silos, but you only have so many build spots. And even when you get an add-on, because there's different little branches off of the ranch here that you can add, and those have more spots, but there's still only a set amount of spots, and I don't want to use them on chickens, like just to get a chicken coop, when the chickens just kind of live wherever they are. So I just throw them in the ranch and they live on the ranch. It becomes a little annoying later that they're all over the place underfoot and you're bumping around, all walking over them, but it's not annoying enough to not do it, because eventually, and they multiply. So eventually the place gets so full of chickens, you just do a big sweep and get like a big ton of chickens and feed them to some slime and get a ton of plorts. But that's the way I do it. I wouldn't build a chicken coop because I have too many other things to build. So eventually this place is going to be polluted with chickens all over the place. And it's cool because you can let them roam around. They're not going to hurt anything. Like, you can't let slimes roam around. They'll eat the wrong thing and leave the wrong plorts, and then you got Tar City going on. There's no chicken tars. Although I read something about an update that might have some kind of carnivorous or vampiric chickens, possibly. I don't know. It sounded weird, but it should be cool if they do it. It mentioned somewhere in the Slimepedia that you can water stuff and it will help, but I don't find it super does really much of anything. And some people like to go and put 200 or 300 in a pit if you're making like a pit of pinks, but I don't find that does too much. Above a certain number, you're not going to be able to feed them all. Oh, and there's what you look like. That's your character. Pogo fruit. Now I wonder if you chop down a pogo tree, if that's what you make pogo sticks out of. Although pogo sticks are metal, but still, the joke stands and I'm sticking to it. Pink slimes. What's going on over here, fellas? Give me those carrots. You can come over and look where they were, but I'm not putting them back. You are out of luck, Mr. Slime. Now see over there? That is the first Gordo. And let's go get him now. Hey, we're doing something. So he's just pink Gordo. He'll eat anything. Grab a little more pogo fruit there. Why not? And then he's super happy. He's just like, I'm just gonna smile and you can just feed me. So you gotta feed him. I think it's 25 for the pink ones. 25 of anything. Any resource. You can't feed them plorts or anything. Boom! There we go. And you get pink slimes and some crates and a slime key that we're gonna use to get into the moss blanket. Now see, I sucked those all up because I don't want to open these crates and have the pink slimes eat whatever in them. Tabby and a heartbeat. Excellent. And there's cube berries. So the rock slimes like heartbeats. Every slime except pinks have their favorite. And if you feed them their favorite, you get twice the plorts. So if you feed a rock slime a carrot, you get 1 plort. You feed it a heartbeat, you get 2. And cube berries are the favorite of the phosphor slime. And all their favorites are listed on the Slimepedia. Oh, there's a pink rock largo. That's weird for a rock slime to get that far up this way. There we go. We'll start some gardening. Time to grow a cube berry. Now I'm not bothering with the extra expense. You can get a scare slime that looks like a guitar, and it will more or less keep slimes off that patch. But I don't think there's not a lot of free range slimes here. That's not the way I'm keeping the farm right now, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I'm gonna change this over to beets. Good old heartbeats. Because if you're gonna grow a vegetable, you might as well grow one that's somebody's favorite, because if it's the same thing with one benefit, you might as well do it. There we go. Have some pogo fruit. Tide you over until you get your favorite stuff. And it really is worth it is worth working out a way to have their favorite stuff, because, like I said, you'll double your output. See, there's the plort collector, and it has 2 different sides because you get 2 different kinds of plorts. There we go. Money, money, money. Get all the money monies. I'm still at the stage here where pink plorts are definitely worth collecting. And my tanks have been upgraded, so now I can hold 30 in each tank, which is good, but 40's better, 50's even better, and 100's what you want to get to. But that takes a while. What kind of star mail do we got going on here? Victor Humphreys. There's a whole story from Victor Humphreys. He's the guy who used to run this ranch. And it's just sort of sentimental, kind of just stuff. And then he talks about how he fell in love and stuff. And I really don't care about that. Alright, let's check our upgrades here. That's one of the other reasons I don't mind a little bit of slow progress at the start, is because you're waiting for a good jetpack with good upgrades, so you can really explore when you get out there. And we will. So you really do need all these upgrades, and I'd make them a priority, especially if you want to travel around the game a lot, because your jetpack's probably the most important thing in the whole game. Also, the way I'm doing this is I've pre-recorded a lot of stuff and then I'm going to work my way through it. That's how I come up with the little montage I did. I just jumped to all the future videos I had recorded and clipped out some cool stuff. I just find this is a better way for me to do a show, instead of just doing one as I go. And these are all going to be reasonably long, like over half an hour anyway. Just because I like the kind of hanging around, watching the game kind of stuff. I'm not trying to do the big blockbuster, here's the quick cuts of all the most exciting things. I'm like, no, look, just check me out. I'm down in this little hollow collecting plorts again. I think if I cut all this out and you'd only see all the exciting part, I think, and then if you started the game, you'd be like, what is this? Like 10 hours of setting up stuff and collecting things and saving up my money, and like none of that was in the video. Well, it is in mine, because that's a lot of the game. I'm not going to cut that out. And I don't mind this part. Like I said, if you mind having to just go and collect stuff and bring it back and then saving up, and probably not the game for you. But the cool thing is, it's not all that. It's not all just taking care of your farm. Now, hopefully you've seen that first video I did. This is only my second episode. But in that coming up clip, I showed a lot of cool stuff from lots of different parts of the game, and I hope you got a chance to see that, because that'll give you I talk about how cool this game is, but I'm really just doing sort of the same thing right now to build up, and the only thing we really super accomplish right now is popping that one Gordo. But we will get to a lot of cool stuff. I just want to have home base really set up awesome. That's my goal in starting the game. We'll collect a lot of these free range plorts. I wish we had more than 4 spots. And so far, they haven't done anything where you can upgrade more spots. You can just upgrade the spots to carry more. And I don't know if they're gonna do that. I'd love to have like 8 spots. That'd just be wow. 8 spots. That'd be awesome. Alright, sunny day on the far range. Out visiting with my pink little buddies. Gathering some carrots. Good times. I would think if you have a really stressful life, this game would be of giant benefit to you. I am no doctor, but I believe that this game will help lower your blood pressure. Here we go. Eat up, guys. Eat up. Ah, we got some Q berries on the go now. Excellent. And these are pretty much just giant square strawberries, but I don't think you can say just if you're gonna say giant square strawberry, because that's not just anything. That's wow, giant square strawberries. And we got the heartbeats, not to be confused with heartbeeps, which is Ladka from Taxi movie as a robot. Look that one up. I'm an old geezer, so a lot of my references are going to be pretty obscure and strange. If you were alive before people had internet, you'll probably get a lot of my stuff. If not, Google. And we don't need any really pogo fruit. We just had it because that's all we had. So, gone. Might as well be cube berry. There we go. This place is really coming along now. And when you have, let's see, there's the overgrowth. That's one little spot that we can get. The lab, the grotto, the docks. Those are all parts you can add on to the farm. And once you have all of those, you can kind of spend a whole day going from part to part, emptying all the ports, feeding all the stuff, setting up anything decoration-wise you want to do. And by the time you do the whole route, there'll be at least a game day gone by. So it's the sort of game where you'll never be bored because you can have tons of stuff to do on the farm to keep it going. And then there's always something else out there in the world you can go do. And one of the motivators for the game, and it really makes you really try to collect as much money as you can, is 7Z decided that they want all your money, so they start a rewards club, and you get actually a lot of cool stuff during the progression of that. That starts pretty soon. I don't have that. That hasn't started yet. I'm only on day 7 here. But once that starts, that's a lot of the reason that you're out doing stuff, is to try to get as much as you can, build up your money to get to the next level of the rewards. And actually, my last game that I played all the way through. I beat the last reward. I have a feeling in the next update, the next big update is going to be all about. From what I heard, this is just all rumor. Something I read on a website or something. It's going to be about Mochi Miles, who's one of the other ranchers out there. And it's going to be all about money and how she got to be a millionaire. And I think she found a way to capture a gold slime. It said on one something, because you can't capture a gold slime into your suction gun. They don't capture. But that's going to be all about trying to generate money. So I can't see them not adding to the 7Z rewards. Like they'll probably add a lot more tiers on there, because otherwise there's not oh, sorry about that. Otherwise there's not a lot you can do with money. So if the update's going to be about money, there's going to be a lot more tiers on the rewards club, I would think. It should be cool either way. I'm just kind of disappointed they're not focusing on Bob yet. Where's my I want a whole zone that Bob is the ruler of. The Slime King. All hail the money Bob. He wants chicken. Alright, so we're getting a lot of good stuff here. Lots of happy slimes just jumping around. Soon to turn into terror and try to kill everyone. They're very slimy. When they touch stuff, they leave big globs of slime everywhere. I'm kind of glad that disappears quick, or else the whole place would just be Slime City. You'd be slipping and sliding. It'd be like Splatoon. Little mini slime stack going on there. There we go. Ah, damn you straggler. And I don't have a spot. I'll be back to fix that problem. I don't think he's an escapee. Sometimes he'll come back and somebody just escapes. Because like I said, these are only energy barriers. They're not 100%. But I think that guy was from the wild and he just headed up the road there. Let's go get him. I'll send you back to where you came from. Tell your friends not to come by. If I want them, I'll go get them myself. Cube berries. I just think the size of them is so awesome. I want a strawberry the size of my head. I don't even care if it's square. Give me a regular round one, I think. I want a strawberry. You have to slice pieces off to eat, because you'll never eat the whole thing. I've got a cell set up over there. Now, before you go to a new zone, you want to have some spots set up for the slimes you're gonna get. We go to the moss blanket, and let's see what we get over there. We get honey slimes, which are excellent, easy to take care of too, and make great largos that you can always feed fruit to. It becomes a pain in the ass if you combine two slimes that eat just meat, and then you get a largo that eats only meat, so then you have to always scrounge for chickens, which are harder to find than stuff that grows. So it's usually a good idea, if you're going to combine something, have your standard either pink or honey are good as just standard ones to change meat eaters over to either fruit or veggie. There we go, we're making some money now. this is just the start. You can see from that board, I haven't seen all those slimes yet. There is so much more to this game to come. And feel free to leave a comment on what you think of this game, because do you love it as much as I do? This game is one of my favorite places to spend my time. It really is. So there we go. We got one decked out. We'll set up another one. Some high walls. And then we just need a little bit more, and we'll have it all set up. Hello, Mr. Friendly Phosphor Slime. Now I understand the way they set these slimes up is they just sort of generate, and like there's no individual slimes, they're just slimes in general categories. But I kind of would like it if they were like individuals and you could just go, hey, there's Roy the tabby slime, he lives in this one spot. But I can really see why they don't do that. Although later on you can set up something that snares a Gordo, and if you snare a Gordo, then he's in that one spot, and you can name those guys, and we will. Kind of a creepy thought if you think about it though, because if you can set up a snare for a Gordo, now these Gordos are huge and seemingly always happy, but if you can set up a snare for a Gordo and then you have to sleep to see, and then you'll see it be come in, like you can't, he's not out there wandering that you can see him, but he'll appear in the snare if you catch him. So it's kind of creepy thought that while you're sleeping there's big Gordos out there floating around that you can capture, but you never see them when you're awake. There's a lot of seemingly harmless parts of this game that are really creepy if you think about them, which is awesome. And see that cave there? That goes to the Indigo Quarry. That'll be the second zone we get to, but we're going to go to the moss blanket first. And I think we're just about ready to head there pretty soon. We didn't get too many resources here, so let's see if we can, let's see if these guys made any plorts. Ah, there we go. Good old reliable pit of pits. And then if you press this button, it'll activate it. Sometimes if you go and it's empty and there's plorts in there, and you can make it turn on and collect all the plorts. Here we go. Give me money, money, money. Alright, this will help us set up that other pen, and then we can head for the moss blanket. Where we're going to find honey and boom and puddle plorts, actually, and puddle slimes. Boom slimes are sort of randomly explode. but they don't explode and then they're gone. They just kind of explode and then they're like a cartoon where you're kind of covered in soot and bewildered for a little bit and then you're back to normal. This is a very cartoony kind of game. It's awesome. Alright, give me more cube berries. Even more. Fill these auto feeders. 0. That's pretty low. Alright, we'll give you that beat. You like those because you're rock. Pink ports, the backbone of our economy. Alright, now we're gonna head out to the moss blanket. Get this all set up. Auto feeder, plort collector. Don't need the solar shield. That one's good too. There we go. Alright, let's go use this slime key we got. Been burning a hole in my pocket for a little while now. Hey everybody, I got no time for you right now. I'm off to open another section. So you just go down through where we've been 100 times. And just keep going. Oh, want to get some water. It's always good to keep your tank full. And this jetpack is one of the main things in the game. And it's also one of the main hazards because you won't notice that your jetpack's low when you do a jump and then sploosh. But you don't die, you get a 24-hour sort of timeout. And there's the tabby Gordo. We will pop him at some point, but not right now. There's good old Tar City. But if you feed any Gordo on the map, even one thing, then he'll appear on the map. That's a handy new feature they added just recently. Alright, so then you just go out this way along the best constructed bridge I ever saw. Isn't this thing solid? But you get a jetpack, so you're good. That kind of goes nowhere down that side. And then bam, look at this. Slime gate. Alright, so we're gonna open this, but it's gonna to see inside is gonna be the next episode. So stay tuned. Make sure you come back. We're gonna play more Slime Rancher. And until then, take her easy.